to talk a little bit about Labor Day and workers and where we're at this time in our history, and it's not looking too good. Workers are falling behind, and we're talking about the whole working class. So those are people, whether they work in the private sector or the public sector, whether they're currently unemployed, whether they're people with disabilities, whether they're small business people. We are the working class, and all of us are falling further and further behind while we watch financial institutions, banks, and global corporations getting so wealthy, it is absolutely obscene. The amount of wealth that they are sitting on and believing that it is their right. So where do they get those profits? They get those profits off of the backs of the working class. So we deserve our fair share. When we've got Mike Carney telling them, come on guys, you got to loosen it up a little bit there. We're starting to take a little bit of heat here in our countries and our communities. Yeah, damn right. They need to loosen it up a lot. We deserve to have good public services. We deserve to have our seniors taken care of properly. Workers deserve to be able to earn a living wage where they can pay for a house, look after their family, put food on their table, maybe have a little bit of entertainment once in a while without going in the hole, and then having a little bit left over to live comfortably when they retire. That's the way it's supposed to be. So how do we get there? Because everybody says, well, jeepers, they're cutting back on public services because they can't afford it. The government tells us we can't afford our public services anymore. We got to cut back. Like discretionary benefits, they're not going to pay for them anymore. Shame on them. We can afford this, and we need to look at where our money's going. It's sitting in those pockets of the corporations, and we need to say to them, you are going to pay for this. You are going to support our communities the way it was intended to be.
Yeah, but Stephen Harper can get a $40,000 wage increase.
So we need to be looking to our politicians and saying, yes, we can afford it. What is your solution? Enough of this, oh, well, we know that the times are tough, but we're trying to pay attention to that. Well, no, they're not paying attention to that. And they need to start calling on corporations to pay what they properly should be paying. So when you're talking to any of your local politicians, and I happen to be one of them, you tell those people you need to get the money from the big pockets, and it's we all deserve to have a better standard of living. Yes, sir.
Yes, green transit not run right. Public transit.
I agree. We need to have good public services, good public transit, where people can afford to get from one point to another. I agree. It's a whole discussion on how that comes about. We need to have affordable public services and affordable bus services.
Okay, well, I'm just saying this. Our community here, we're paying too much money for bus passes in Ontario, right here.
I agree. I agree with you, sir. In our crowd today, we have Chris MacDonald. Chris is the Ontario Director of the Canadian Labour Congress, which our Peterborough District Labour Council is chartered under. And so I'd just like to offer Chris a few moments to speak to you today. Chris.
Thanks very much, Marion. It's great to be able to go to a couple of Labor Day events this weekend in my community. I have a place in Omimi, and I live in Whitby, but I always love coming up to Peterborough and Lindsay, and this is a great event, as was the Lindsay event yesterday. Sisters and brothers and community members, I want to bring greetings on behalf of our President, Ken Giorgetti, the President of the Canadian Labour Congress, our Vice Presidents, and our Secretary-Treasurer, Hussein Youssef, who are all at different areas around the country today as we celebrate Labor Day and workers' contribution to the economy and the struggles that workers have faced over the years. And there's no doubt, as Marion talked about, I'm not going to run through all of the issues that workers are facing, but certainly we know the level of attacks that workers are under. But the one thing, as we celebrate Labor Day, this is about our achievements. This is about what we fought for so far and what we're going to continue to do to make sure that those very corporations and the governments that aren't spending properly are taken to task. And we're going to continue to do that through our Labour Councils, through all of the structures within our union movement. And sisters and brothers, the one thing that we're highlighting today as we talk about the union advantage, every single year, every single week, workers doing like jobs in unions versus in non-union jobs put $800 million more into the Canadian economy because they belong to a union. And that money gets put back into these communities. And we're seeing what's happening when the union density declines in places like Peterborough. We start to struggle more. The differences between the haves and the have-nots gets bigger. And we're going to continue to try to press for good jobs in this community as we do in communities across the province. So today we'll celebrate our achievements. Tomorrow we'll focus, get back to work. And thank you very much. Have a great Labor Day.